Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. We are building out today the Lovebirds. Super excited about this. This is a Lego idea set that was, I believe, a specific challenge in Lego Ideas. So I think it was one where people had to build and submit based on a prompt, and then they were able to enter to have their build selected. So excited to build this one. It came out already, but we were sent it for early review. And the challenge winner, okay. So Micah, Lego Ideas Name Modular Maniac, is the grand prize winner of our Build from the Heart challenge. So this is the Build from the Heart challenge. This is him. Hey, Micah. Good job. This set is beautiful. And Dave Geddes, who is Brick Lettuce on Instagram, and from Lego Masters Season 3, ? I think that's right. He was the lead designer on it, I believe. So that's lots of fun. So I'm going to dive right in and get started. I already poured out bag 1 just to kind of move things along. There's 7 bags total. So yeah, how are y'all today? What's going on in your world? I have been working on a really fun project that I can't talk about yet, but that as of next week, I should be able to talk about. So if you come back to the live next week, I should be able to share more. And it's been so much fun. I was actually working on editing a video for them today. And realized, oh shoot, I need to jump on a live. But I did get it to them right before, which is nice, so they can give me some feedback. And it's super, super fun. I'm very, very excited about the project. So can't wait until I'm able to share more with you. But until then, we'll just have to chat about other things. What's going on your Wednesday, though? Let me know in the chat. Say hello. Let me know who's here. I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you've been up to and what builds you're working on or builds are on your wish list. Here in Austin, we have something called cedar fever, which is when all the cedar trees pour out all of their pollen, and it is bright yellow and disgusting. And it makes it incredibly hard to breathe. So my allergies have been going nuts. Today, I decided to wear my Sundance shirt. So this is from Sundance last year. Philip had a chance to go through work, through a connection he had at work last year. And he's going again this year, which makes me happy for him, but sad for me. I wish I could go and join him. But I'm very excited for him. He's leaving this weekend. So it's going to be a quiet weekend here with just Penny and I. And hopefully we'll get some things done around the house and maybe build a set just for the fun of it, which is nice. This one I was really, really excited about. I just thought it was so beautiful. I'm loving the colors with the birds. Honestly, I think it's coral. And usually I don't like coral very much. I find it hard to kind of color match with other things, but I feel like it works really well with these lovebirds. They just seem really pretty. And maybe that's like the more neutral greens that they chose for the plant. That might be part of it, but I feel like it works pretty well. So. All right, lots of, I'm guessing this is the base of the tree, but lots of snot building techniques. We are using both brackets and snot bricks here. And it's interesting that the first section of them were black and then it moves on to brown. I'm guessing that's so that it's easier to understand what parts go where once we get to the next step. So one of the things we've talked a little bit about is the build challenge that I was doing last year and wanting to continue it this year. So I officially announced what we're doing. I'm very, very excited about it. We are moving it to a monthly build challenge. So it used to be weekly, but now it's going to move to monthly. I think that was based in part on feedback from others who said the weekly was just a little bit too much to commit to and that it was hard to kind of get around to building things as soon as they knew what the prompts were, that there just wasn't enough time. but then also for me on my end to make sure that it's something that's manageable and that I can keep up with as well. So we are moving to monthly, and I'm excited because I'm trying something new. As you likely know, I love to do Lego tutorials, and so I am going to incorporate that into this challenge. And I will start each month. It'll be middle of the month that kicks off, and I will start it with a build tutorial. So there will be a video that people can watch and learn how to do something cool. And then the prompt will align with that video. So it'll ideally start with this build tutorial, teach people how to do something cool, give them a prompt then to understand what it is that they can do with the builds or with the technique. And then they'll be asked to incorporate the technique into their builds. So let's see, someone is calling. Hi, Zach. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. It's good to see you. We're just saying that I just got around to finally announcing what we're doing with the Build Challenge. It's going to be tutorial focused, and so I will be putting together a tutorial every month to teach people some kind of build technique or such, and then people will be asked to incorporate that into their build. So I would love to see you build with the Build Challenge. I call it Build with BradyJoynerBricks or Build with BJB. Let's see, I'm going to angle this down a little bit more so you can see this. So, shoot, that cuts off my head a little bit too. Let me maybe just pull this back. There we go. That's better. But yeah, really excited about it. The first month, since it's middle of January already, and I wanted to do middle of the month to middle of the month to also just make it a little bit more manageable for everyone involved. I am the host of the Valentine's Habitat Challenge. So because of that, the first month is the Habitat Challenge. We're just making it that as an easy thing. I know that a lot of people who have built with my Build Challenge have never built habitats before. Or if they have, they've never entered the Habitat Challenges online. So I thought this would be a great way to get them plugged into that. But also, it allows me to kind of kill two birds with one stone. As I was already creating a video tutorial on how to build habitats. So I released the tutorial the other day, and it's up already. And after I'm done with the live stream, I have homework to do, and that is to announce the February Habitats Challenge, because I just haven't gotten around to putting together the slides that show all the details. But I can verbalize it. So it'll be in February 11th, 12th, and 13th will be the days to do individual builds. And then the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, will be the day to share your habitat stacks. So that'll be the first one. And the fun thing is, for the second one, I already have a plan on what tutorial video I'm going to do, which I'm really excited about. So that's been fun to kind of start brainstorming what I'd like to incorporate into the Build Challenge and thinking through how I want to manage it and make sure that it's something that ideally is engaging and also lets me do some teaching, because I love the kind of educational side of things. So yeah, so that's the fun. What have you been up to? Did you have a nice weekend? Ours was good. It was a lot of packing up some Christmas, even though it does not look like it on my backdrop. We started with the outside because that's what all the neighbors see. And while inside we can stay at Christmas Winter Wonderland for as long as we want to, we know that the neighbors don't necessarily always love to keep all the Christmas up. So we always start outside first. And because of that, my allergies were going crazy. But did a lot of work out there, and then was catching a lot of Pokemon, to be honest. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. It's been so much fun to get to do those in person, those build tutorials and workshops at like Brick Rodeo and such. And I wanted to continue to incorporate that online. So having digital tutorials and virtual kind of build things gives me that opportunity, which is cool. So let's see, here we go. All right, so it looks like I'm building out the roots of the tree. So we've got the center piece that's going to be, I'm assuming, this center of the trunk. Whoops, right there. It'll be the center of the trunk right there. And then the roots are going to kind of go and attach to the side, which is great. It's a really good technique that allows it to have organic shaping, and also make use of the shapes kind of sideways. So, oh my gosh, that's probably true. Yeah, first time meeting was at a habitat workshop. I love that. That's so fun. I was just the old location for Brick Rodeo in Austin is the oh, I forgot the name of it, but the old hotel location. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me stop for a minute. This piece is new to me. It is. I saw it. I want to say when I was building out this guy. Let's see. Nope, you can't see. Let me scoot my chair a little bit more. There we go. When I was building out Bugs Bunny, I'm pretty sure that was where I first saw this one. But this is one of those pieces that's those kind of curved wedges, curved slopes. And normally this size is a total of 3 plates tall, so a total of the same height as a regular brick. But this is only 2 plates tall, which is really interesting. It will be helpful. Mayo's here. Hi, friend. What's up? Oh my gosh, so much fun. Thank you all for joining. I love this. I love to have lots of friends in the chat. Yay! And thanks to whomever liked the feed. I really appreciate that. So yeah, we are anyway working on more tutorial things, which is fun. Really excited about the build challenge to continue. We had 55 builders last year in total, which is really, really cool. And so my hope is that we continue to get many, many, many more, and that it continues to grow. And my hope is that for everybody that it's like a fun and exciting thing. One of my goals as a Lego ambassador is to really help people acclimate to the AFOL community and find their way around and learn how to start doing some mock building. I love it when someone starts by saying, I could never do that, when they're like looking at something at a convention or something, and then being able to teach them something cool that helps them see that maybe someday they could, right? That's part of my goal. So, and then the other part of my goal is community building. And there's Philip. He's busy at work, but working from home, which is always fun to get to spend some time with him during the day. I love that we get to have lunch every day together. You're only awake because you're charging your phone. I was wondering, it's got to be late there. So yes, this is the Lovebirds. So we are building out the Lovebirds. I started with bag 1, and I just started with already having everything open for this one, just because I wanted to hop to it quickly, as I'd really like to be able to finish this one during the stream. So there are 7 bags total, so I think it's very doable. So let's see. Okay. So we're getting close. All right, so now we can put this on. So as you can see, fun kind of curved roots that look like very organic in shaping. There's some additional extra studs sticking out where more roots will come out. And those are from the brackets that are on the sides there. And I love that the way this is built, you see the underside of the studs here. So this is how it is built, like going up, but we turn it sideways and attach it to our handy dandy rod of lots of studs. The tree trunk, basically, that's made of brackets and snow bricks. Okay, so this will be facing this way. This goes this way, and this goes here. Let me get that on. Ta-da! Yay! So it made a big foot. Yeah, if you're making a chicken foot, this would be a really good start for that, for sure. Okay, let's continue. Mayo, what time is it there? I thought you were about 6 hours ahead, which would be 7:30, but maybe I'm wrong with where you're located. All right. The other piece that I would like to get more of, and I need to remember this whenever I like buy things online or whatever, is this shape. of the wedges. These are fantastic, and I really only have like one or two that come with the sets that I'm building. So I need to find a way to source some more. Okay. I remember too, a couple of years ago when this 1x5 first came out and everybody was so excited. And now I feel like it's in almost every set that I'm building. Like, wow, it's everywhere. So obviously a versatile piece and very necessary and helpful. But yeah, going back to what you were saying, was curious about when you guys start putting away your Christmas decorations. You're ahead of me. Yeah, we typically start around MLK weekend. And so that, happened to be this past weekend. I think this year we're both feeling a little bit like, you know what, that brings us joy. So why not leave it up a little bit longer? That feels okay. So, but at the same time, I don't know. There are pieces of me that I'm like, I really love Valentine's Day and I love to have decorations up for that. So I don't want to miss that all together if we don't completely put stuff up. So I don't know. Typically, end of January, though, is when we're typically wrapping it up. 5:30, Mayo, where do you live? Or 5:50, I was totally wrong. I did not, you sleep whenever your body tells you to. That's fair. Okay. I don't know why I thought you were in the UK. Clearly I'm wrong. Anyway, what's funny is I think just so many of the YouTubers that I started to follow along with early on were all in the UK, so I'm pretty sure that's probably why that's in my head. But yeah, I was clearly wrong. Okay, so now I need this one. But sleeping when your body tells you to, that's probably a good approach. I feel like my body tells me to sleep every night though. So I have a relatively consistent bedtime. Although I feel like we end up staying up late, especially during the holidays, and then it gets us out of the routine of going to bed at a normal time. So it's always kind of hard to shake out of that after. Zach, how was your Brick convention? How was the event? And was it Brick Convention? I forget if that was the name of it. That company that is, wanted to let you know. Oh yeah, awesome. Was a very fun traveling show. Good. Glad to hear it. And I'm glad you had a good experience with it. It's coming to Austin this weekend. And so a lot of my buddies are going to be there displaying. I didn't really arrange to do it with them. I honestly just kind of lost track of communication with the lug during the time when they were planning it and everything. So, but also since Philip will be gone this weekend, I need to be home with Penny. So I don't want to be gone too long away from her. So yeah, I'm glad it was good. You said that you and a bunch of your friends from your lug participated. Was it a pretty large public crowd? Okay, so yeah, we're just continuing to kind of build organic shapes that are going to make these sides of the tree look like natural tree trunk and roots and that kind of stuff too. So good, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing about how it goes. I just don't think I'll get around to going because, like I said, I want to be home with Penny. So, and I also just feel like we've been going every weekend this year already, and it's kind of need a little bit of downtime. So the project that I was working on that I mentioned at the beginning of the feed, I'll share more about next week when I can. It's really, really cool, and I'm so excited about it. But that project, I actually spent a lot of the weekend working on too. So because I had a deliverable for them this week. So yeah, that made it so that even though we didn't necessarily have a ton of activity going on, it still felt very busy. So haven't really felt like I got much of a break. And that's kind of a reality of doing like content creation type stuff a little bit more professionally, that my work spans into the weekends too. So, all right, done with bag one. So we have a large chicken foot. I don't know why, but that's what it seems like to me. I like this technique that you see up here at the top, using those quarter rounds. I feel like that works really well, and really enjoy the way this is all set up. That's pretty good. So, all right, bag two. I'd enjoy chatting with you about it later. Curious if TextLug was taking part of it. Good to know. Yeah, yes, they are. So I think it's not a huge group that is, from my understanding. But, and also I think people in TextLug tend to be pretty wary of companies like Brick Convention, just because we've had bad experiences with Brick Fest Live. So Australian, okay. I knew that. I don't know why I had it wrong in my head. At some point it just, lines got crossed in my head, but that's right. So good times. Well, I'm so glad that you joined, even though it's ridiculously early in the morning for you. It is midday here. It's 1:25 p.m. So just after lunch. I previously, when I was going live, it was just once a month on Saturdays, the second Saturday of the month, and I enjoyed that, but it wasn't consistent enough for too many people to join all the time. Zach was consistently there, which makes me so happy. And I've had a few people here and there that are pretty consistent joiners, which is great. But I wanted to do something weekly, and do it at a time that I knew would work for me weekly and that I could promote to others so that they could just become more aware of when I'm going live. So this middle of the week Wednesday works well for me. It doesn't necessarily work well for people with traditional 9-to-5 jobs, but that's okay. People have been popping in during lunch breaks sometimes, and I don't know. It's nice to get to connect with people anytime I get that opportunity. So I'm enjoying doing this a little bit more too, because it's just fun. It gives me an awesome excuse to build some cool sets and say hi to people from around the world, like Australia, which again, I'm shocked that you're here because you must be exhausted, but yes. Ultimately had a good showing, a few mosaics, interacted with other builders, families, kids, didn't realize how exhausting it can be too. Yes. Now you know what you do with now every con, right? So when you actually have a mock and engage with the public, it is a very different experience. I love talking with people. I love connecting with the public and chatting it up, but I also get completely drained from it and find after conventions are over that I am zapped. And Philip's kind of the same. So like we'll go and have a wonderful time and really enjoy seeing friends and such, but then we'll both come back and be like, you know what, that was really tiring. So all right, so now we're on to the next one. This is going to go, let's see if I stick this out this way. This goes on here. All right. Okay, so we got another tree root sticking out now at a 90-degree angle, but I like these curves that make it kind of look a little less 90 degrees. So, right. Maya, what are you working on building? Anything fun? And Zach, do you have any fun sets you're working on or that you're hoping to work on soon? I'm really proud of you, again, for displaying your mosaics and putting yourself out there. I know that that can be a bit of a challenge. It's very vulnerable, but yeah, you did it, which is great. And my assumption is that you're coming to rodeo and that you will be bringing them to rodeo, right? Right? I would love to see that. I was starting to think through what I need to start registering for rodeo. And because it's in Austin, it's easy to bring a lot of things for us because we don't have to worry about like packing it in flights and cars and that kind of stuff. Like I can take multiple trips and whatever. So it's tempting to bring a lot, but I also don't want to overdo it. So But one thing is I do want to do that Kinky Boots mosaic. So that is something I'm going to register for Brick Rodeo soon. And that'll hopefully give me the push to actually get started on it, start designing it so that I can have it ready by the time the convention happens. All right. Oh, excuse me. Once I'm done with this bag, I want to show you a mock that I was working on that I'm pretty proud of. And that I'm planning to do a tutorial video on because I think others might be interested in that too. So, all right. Let's see here. See how we're just getting more and more of that organic shaping as we go through. This is really cool. Anytime I get the chance to have early access to Lego Ideas set, I'm always excited to know if I can hear from the designers and specifically the fan designer because I find it so much fun to talk with them about like, hey, tell me about your experience working with Lego. What was it like having real Lego designers bring your set to life and make adjustments and improve upon it and take your feedback? Every single time they say such glowing positive things about their experience. So in this case, I did not get that chance, but I did get a chance to talk with Brick Lettuce when I was in Denmark. And it was so much fun, first off, because he's a buddy of mine and we just hadn't met in person. So I felt like I knew him really well, but it was the first time to finally get to meet him. But then also, it was really great just to hear about his experience because he's been a designer there for a couple of years at this point. And he switched teams to the Lego Ideas team. And I think this might have been his first Lego Ideas set that he got to work on. So do you know when registering mark starts or ends? I'm always terrible at missing deadlines. I'm not sure if it started yet or not. But typically it's up and running in the spring. So my guess is it's already up. I know they don't start doing mock placement and all that kind of stuff for the hall until a little bit closer to the deadline. But last year, they actually had a pretty early deadline. I think it was a little bit more than a month out, maybe, if not more than that too. And so definitely make sure that you have your stuff registered by, I'd say by like mid-March. Then you're probably safe. So if England is across the pond, Australia is across the lake. Oh, I like that. Good stuff. Good stuff. Fun. And I'm glad to hear that you're planning to bring your mocks. So it's been so fun to see you every year at Brick Rodeo. And every year at Brick Rodeo, I say, hey, Zach, did you bring anything? And every year you've said, oh, not this year. So I'm glad that's different this time. And no shade for not having brought stuff in the past either. But I'm excited to get to see your stuff in person. So, and to get to see you in person again. That's always fun. So Mayo, I think you should come to Brick Rodeo sometime. Fly all the way across the lake, or swim, you know, however you want to get here. Did you go to, is it, what is it called in Australia? I think Bricktacular is, or Bricktastic is in the UK. I can't remember now. I just lost it, and I know it. It's just because I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's not coming to mind. But did you go to the event? I think it was last weekend. Brickvention. Yes, I think that's the one, right? That is one that I would love to go to sometime. That would be so cool. Maybe Philip and I can take a world tour and get there, and also to Japan for their brick convention, and get up there to Bricktastic. We had such a wonderful time at Scareback, and it just made me want to go to more international ones because it's so much fun to get to see people that we know from around the world in person. And we see a little bit of that at like rodeo and whatnot, but not as much as we did in Scareback. It was so cool. So cool. So I only know because our friend Chip was there. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know Chip was there. Good for him. I'm guessing he was networking and trying to get people to come to his event, which we would love to, but we can't this year. I'm disappointed that the timing is just not going to work out for us. So we will be traveling like a week later and just can't swing both things. So, all right. Okay, our first printed piece, one that I have plenty of in my stash because I feel like so many sets that I like end up having those in them. And I also previously bought a bunch of them from like Bricklink and such. So, but I love that one. It always makes me think of Colorado. You went to Brickvention once, and honestly, the culture is so fractured. I don't need to go there again for a while. Oh, bummer. I'm sorry to hear that. Is it just that, like, did it feel really cliquey, or like, was it too big? I've heard mixed reviews about Brick World Chicago for similar reasons, and I would love to go sometime, but at the same time, it always falls. Up until this year, it always falls the week or 2 weeks just before Brick Rodeo. And it was really hard to swing both. Plus, we had like travel for our nieces and nephews' graduation parties and such. And so it just made it really tough to ever get to go. So we haven't been. But yeah, I've heard mixed reviews about it, with many saying that there's a lot of clickiness and that it's just a little too big. One thing I love about rodeo is the size is a good size. We are having more. I think we'll see more. I almost said minifigs. Maybe we'll see more minifigs. I think we'll see more AFOLs there this year than we have in the past. But I know that it's still going to be smaller than the number of AFOLs at other large events like Chicago and Brick Fair, Virginia. So, okay, let's see. All right, so now this is, let's see, this is confusing. Did I do this right? Oh, that's why. All of these were meant to be on the back here. So now I need to flip that. Okay, fine. It does seem like a lot of the Lego Masters go to Brickvention. That was something I noticed from just following a lot of them on social media. And that made me want to go just to get to know some of them because I think it'd be really fun to connect in person sometime. But it does look big. So, and I know Jay goes, I think, every year because he's down that way too. All right, I shifted all that over. Let's see if I get this right now. There we go. Okay, that's fixed. Now I can attach this guy. Much better. All right. Another leg. This one looks like it's wearing a cowboy boot. Okay. Mayo, how long have you been doing YouTube? I think it's been a very long time, if I'm not mistaken. And also, what brought you into being an AFOL? Did you ever like have any dark ages or anything? I'm always interested to hear people's journeys into this. For me, oh, interesting. So we're actually covering up that printed piece. Huh. That's so fun and so random. Is that right? I guess so. Yeah, it is. Okay. That's fun. So it's just like a fun little hidden detail. Okay. All right. So then this is going to go like that. Okay. Huh. Something seems off here. Let me go back again and see. Oh, okay. My goodness, I am just struggling today. There we go. Now that's right. Okay. Did a 24-hour live stream earlier this month to celebrate 13 years on YouTube. Holy cow. In high school, you had a hiatus and you deleted your old crappy videos because of COPPA, C-O-P-P-A. I don't know COPPA, or I don't know what that means. But yeah, you were just not continuing with it at the time, huh? But then came back, which is fun. 13 years, that's a long time. This is year 3 for me, maybe year 2. I think it's year 3, 2026. Yeah, I think I started in 2023. So, and the live streams, I want to say I started like a couple months into that time frame. So, all right. So now we have this. This is going to be a tree branch. That's so fun. Okay. Very clever. Very smart. So that attaches here. Now it's like a drill. You could repurpose these concepts into all different types of things. All right. Well, congrats on 13 years. That's such a long time. And you should certainly be proud. There's that old adage of 10,000 hours to becoming an expert at something. So I'm guessing at this point you're way past the 10,000 hours if you've been doing this for 13 years. And I know your live streams go pretty long too. So each time is quite a bit, which is great. So now that I'm on this routine of doing these on Wednesdays, I've been doing roughly about 2 hours each time. So that's been nice to have a little bit of consistency. And it also gives me a sense of like recognizing what I can accomplish in 2 hours, which is helpful to then plan like what sets I want to do for these. I get some larger sets. One that I got that I'm so excited about and that I debated starting today with the live stream because I didn't get around to it before is the new golden retriever, which is so freaking cool. It's adorable. I love brick built characters, and one of my favorite sets, one of my top 5 sets from last year was the Dalmatian. And so I'm very excited to get to build another animal. And the previous year it was the tuxedo cat. So really excited to get to build this one. But I knew there's no way I would get anywhere near finishing it. And I just thought it'd be a little bit more fun to do something that I could actually accomplish during the stream or get pretty darn close to. So we'll see. Hello, Brandon. Yay, you got your Wicked for Good Blu-ray. I am so excited for you and a little jealous. We don't have ours yet. We actually probably won't buy it on Blu-ray, but we will buy it digitally. And we need to soon because I want to watch it again. I want to see it again. It's been a little bit too long. So, have you watched it since you got it? And do you always get physical copies of things? There's also a 2-pack of both films. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm not surprised, and I figured that they would come out with like 2 packs. I actually had wondered if they would do that with the vinyls for the music, but ultimately, since we really wanted the first vinyl at the time, we already got it. And so instead of getting a new 2-pack one, which they haven't come out with yet, but I'm sure they will eventually, I decided to get the new one. So now we have both, which is fun. And we replaced our first one because it was warped. It had gotten scratched and would jump and skip during the song One Short Day, which was super annoying and very triggering every time I heard the song. Like I would like expect that it was going to jump there. And even now when I listen to it on the fixed disc, it's still easy to be like, oh, here it comes. And then it doesn't, which is great. But then also it got warped so that during Defying Gravity, it would speed up and slow down. Like off and on, and it was the worst listening experience. And so I had to replace it. So I'm very glad that we did that. So you mostly collect Universal Blu-rays. Nice, good stuff. Last time you watched it was in December. Good times. Last time I saw it was in the theaters, and it was the third time. So we saw it 3 times in theaters because it was so good. But yeah, I haven't seen it since. So. All right, so this goes like this, and this goes like that. Okay, I'm loving, here I'll just show you how, on these little pieces, like we've got this piece that's going up, and then we've got this section and this section that were separate, but there's one plate that's attaching them this way and it studs into the side. But this is now gonna overlap here, and you can see that stud that's open. That is a smart approach for strengthening the stability because it's making sure that it's attached on the left, on the top, on the back, like all around in all different ways. So really, really smart approach. If you weren't on YouTube in 2018, you might not know how Kappa and Apocalypse changed YouTube forever. No, I have no idea, and I'm gonna have to look all this up. So thank you for bringing it up. I love learning these things and then doing a deep dive later and figuring out more. So if you have any suggestions on reading for it, I'd love to, or watching, I'd love to know more. So I will have to check it out. I wasn't like streaming on YouTube. I was watching different YouTubes and stuff at the time. But yeah, and I've never really been much of a live stream watcher. I started to a little bit on Instagram, to be honest, because it's an easy feature there and it's easy to like hop into a live quickly. And I started streaming there too. And it was really honestly that I was getting these sets for review that I thought, some of them I want to do a longer review than just like a quick 3-minute thing on Instagram, which when I first became an ambassador, it was only 1.5 minutes at the time. So yeah, it became something where I was like, I think I want to create a YouTube to do a little bit more of this, which has been a lot of fun and just a little bit different. So, right, I have 2 random pieces I shouldn't have. So I need to figure out where they go because that's not supposed to happen. Okay, here's one. And then I wonder if the other, oh, there's the other. All right, found it. Okay, bags 1 and 2 are done. We're going to take a break for just a moment from the lovebirds, and I'm going to show you the MOC that I was working on. So, like I said, I've been going around catching a lot of Pokemon, getting excited about the new sets, and I thought I want to build a Pokeball. So this was my first one, which is okay. It is very smooth, which I like, and it has the black line around the middle. One thing I wish it had, though, was a black line around this. So if I were to fix this one, I would get a black tile, and then I would put a white round sticker on it, and that way it would still give that kind of black ring around it. But I didn't love how it was so squat, like it's not round, right? So I built a bigger one, because why not? And ta-da! This one, I was able to achieve that effect of having the black line around the circle. So that felt really good. It is all studs, so not smooth like this one. I prefer the smoothness of this one. I could smooth this one out with a bunch of tiles, but that would take a very long time, and I don't know that I'm really up for that challenge at this moment. But I figured there's going to be a lot of people who want the sets but don't have the money to spend on them at this time. And so it might be fun to build and design a Pokeball that I can share the instructions for. So I will be doing a tutorial video on how to build emoji in this shape that I'll be putting up soon. And with that video, I'm also going to do the downloadable instructions, I think, on how to do the Pokeball. So you love the stud showing. Oh, good. Good to know. Ooh, Pokemon, you opened the stream at the right time. Yes. Yes. So what I was sharing was I've been catching a lot of Pokemon in Pokemon Go because why not? It's super fun. And I'm getting really excited about the new sets that are coming. So dove into that again and have been really just like nostalgic, super, definitely enjoying it again. And thought this would be fun to build a Pokeball that I can show the instructions for people who are interested in building one. So here's my design that I did. It is using something called the Bram sphere. So a Lowell sphere is one that people are pretty familiar with. It's a smaller one. The Bram sphere, there's a sphere generator online that you can use. I have used it in the past to figure out how to do these different sizes and things. From there, eventually I figured out kind of this size. And also, actually, I went to some workshops that were put on by Women's Brick Initiative and Alice Finch. And she did a workshop on how to build some that were this size and also bigger. So anyway, now that I know, I'm excited to share the instructions for this. I don't have them ready yet, so you'll have to wait. I've been working on another project that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream for a client, and I'm very, very excited to share with you about it next week when I can. I can't say anything about it yet, though. So that's been my focus, though, and so I haven't had a chance to build the instruction for this, but it's coming. I promise. Because my thought is a lot of people, again, are not going to get the sets because they're so expensive, or are going to get maybe the Eevee one because it's the lower price tag one, but the Pikachu one, I want to say it's $200. It's a pretty expensive set. And that's the only one that comes with the Pokeball to my recollection. So figured I would do something that would be fun for people to be able to build. And then what we're doing today, though, for the stream is we're building the lovebirds because Valentine's is right around the corner. So yeah, and then here's the other one that I built. I'm curious if you'd want the instructions for this one. This was very simple. I like the smoothness of it. I didn't like the squatty nature of it. I did think one option is I could make the black line one row thicker, and that might make it a little bit more round. But I just don't know that I want to put the effort into that if it's just not something that people are interested in. To me, it just was like giving hamburger more than it was giving Pokeball. So, although the right colors, of course. So yeah. Let me know if you think I should do the instructions for the small one too. So, yay, fun. Nice to see y'all. Thank you for joining, friends. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna dive into bag 3. So here's bags 1 and 2 so far. Like I said, we made a drill. That's what it feels like to me. It's really nice and solid. This is the trunk. We've got some beautiful roots here at the bottom and then that tree branch. And it's a very solid build. I'm very impressed. My good friend, Brick Lettuce on Instagram, David Geddes from Lego Masters US, he designed it on the Lego Ideas team alongside the fan designer. So I'm really excited to get to review and build his set. It's always fun once I know the designers personally to be like, oh my gosh, they're my friend and I learned from them and I'm so proud of them. So he's done a really good job. All right. I seem to be, here we go. Okay, bag 3. I'm going to try to get through bag 7 if I can today. We'll see. I'm going to start powering through. So for those who've just joined, what are you building lately? What are you up to these days? What's the jam? What's happening? Do you have any fun events coming up? Zach was saying that he just participated in a brick convention in his state, and they are on their way to Austin. So there will be one here soon this weekend, and I might be able to stop by briefly. I'm not actually displaying it though. I didn't really get my act together in time, and then also Philip will be traveling, and so I want to spend time with Penny, our pup, and not leave her alone too long. So I won't be participating per se, but excited to go. I've heard there's some Lego Masters coming, so it might be fun to go say hi. I do feel a little bit like it was a missed opportunity, but that's okay. Next time they're here. And then I'm also hosting the Let's Build series, or co-hosting, excuse me, the Let's Build series this month with my dear friend Kate, who runs Let's Build series. She's had me host the last 2 Januaries, so this is my 3rd in a row, which is fun. And I'm very excited to get to do that with her. Our prompt is let's build 26 by 26. So you have to design a base plate of that size, which is fun because it's a challenge. It doesn't come naturally in Lego. And that's because it is the year 2026. So we did the same prompt in 2024, where it was let's build 24 by 24. And it was so fun to see what people came up with. So I'm looking forward to it. And that's what I'll be building next week because throughout the week, because I haven't started on mine. I have some ideas on what I want to do. I think some are more ambitious than others, and I need to probably focus on things that are more realistic, but we'll see. In the process of finishing your entry for the Mosaic Challenge on Instagram. Sweet! Only 2 more squares left. Awesome. Congrats. That's really great. Is this the, when you say the Mosaic Challenge, are you talking about Mosaics on Monday? Or is this the 31 Days of Mosaics? I know that that's gone on the last handful of years, I think every year in January. So I haven't actually participated in that yet. I've done other 31 days challenges. There's lots of American conventions you want to go to, so you might go to Brick Rodeo in 2030 or 31. Okay, we would love to have you, no matter what year it is. If you are here, please come. We can hang out and see each other in person, and it'll be lots of fun. I'm very biased because I ran Brick Rodeo as one of the co-chairs for many years, but I do find it to be a really good convention. I would say ask Zach or others who didn't run it about their unbiased opinions. But yeah, it's a really, really good experience. So not sure what it's called, but you have to make 9 small 6x6 mosaics and then arrange them in a grid for the last post. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I hadn't seen that challenge, but that's really fun. So you've got 2 left. That's really cool. My husband, Philip, just did his build for the Let's Build series. So I'm so glad he's participating and supporting it the month that I'm hosting, which is nice, or co-hosting rather with Kate. So fun when he is able to participate too. And his is really cool. So I will let him tell you about it when he shares it. But I was very impressed and thought he did a great job. And he was venting to me a little bit about how challenging it was to do the base. And I was like, yes, I know. It is. It can be pretty frustrating. But that's actually part of the fun. Like that's something that we're not necessarily used to. So I really enjoy that piece. Okay, I'm liking that with this one, before we attach it, we have these pieces that, these hinge pieces that are going to allow us to attach this one at an angle. So this is going to be pretty cool. All right, so that's going to go here. I'm guessing it's going to curve out this way. Very smart, though, because when you look up from above, it's not just a 90-degree angle or 45-degree angle, or you can cut it down to a 45-degree angle between the two. So that is going to be a nice organic piece to this. So kudos, Dave. Good job. And or fan designer that I forgot your name. Good job with this whole thing. All right, so we're getting some clips. I'm guessing this will be the beginning of getting some of the tree branches, which is fun. Do you have a lot of conventions in Germany? And Mayo, same question to you. Do you have other conventions in Australia that you like to go to? I feel like I only ever hear about Brickvention. And I know there's one in Germany that I can't remember the name of that we'd love to go to sometime. That'd be really cool. So. Brick Rodeo happens during the summer in America, and so our summertime is obviously the opposite of your summertime, Mayo, but yeah, typically in July. Oops. Okay, flip this way. There we go. Okay. So we're doing more of the organic shaping. This one curves up, it looks like. This one will curve down. Trees are not easy. This is a really impressive build. I'm going to have to tell Dave, hey, great job. And if I can figure out the fan designer's handle on Instagram, I'll have to say, hello, this was really awesome. And I built it on my live stream and I'm proud of you. Good job. And these birds, the sculpting is so pretty. This one I was legitimately very, very excited about. And I think, to me, it's a beautiful display year-round, but it's also like a perfect Valentine's display. So I think their timing of when they introduced it was so smart. And I mean, it aligns with the challenge was, related to being a Valentine's challenge. But yeah, honestly, I'm kicking myself for not participating in that challenge. I think that would have been a really fun one to do. I always find that I am finding out about the Lego Ideas challenges like way after the fact. I need to be better about actually being on the site if I want to participate in them, because the few times that I have, it's been a lot of fun and I've really enjoyed it. And I loved, building and designing my holiday buddies and having them up on Lego Ideas as a product idea. But yeah, just haven't really done all that much on there since then. And I kind of took a break too from that after promoting those for so long, because it's a lot of work to promote your stuff. And for someone who doesn't like to brag, and like, I don't know, like it can feel really uncomfortable to have to be out there all the time talking about it. So kudos to the people who are good at it, because I found that I thought it was going to be something that was going to be a little bit more manageable, and it was still really challenging. All right, let's see. You don't know anyone who goes to Brick Rodeo besides people who live in Texas and on Interstate 10. Yes, there are people from all over the world that have come, but I would say predominantly United States. We get some folks from Canada every year. We get some folks from Mexico. So obviously close, in North America, so all on the same continent too. But then we get some folks who've come over from Europe a couple times, and that's been fun. But yeah, it's growing, which is fun. I'm glad that we're starting to get more people. And my hope is that we continue to get more international travelers who can come. So, all right. So this clip is going to attach this nice little organic type shaped, like tusk type piece. Let's see. So far, you've been to 1, Steinhunds, Kaltenkirchen, north of Hamburg. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing those right. Probably not. As far as you know, the bigger, more well-known conventions are in the south of Germany, which is too far for you to go to. That's fair. It's a very large country for sure. So, but yes, we would love to have you come sometime to Austin, Texas. Really far away. Anybody have favorite February Valentine's Day spring Lego decorations or build? Ooh, good question. Great question. For me, I love this gift with purchase that came out last year, if we're talking Lego sets. That was the candy heart box. And I love that it was a box of chocolates and it's full of chocolates. I thought that was a really fun one, and it's beautiful. And I also like the size. It's a good size for display. I love Tweety Bird, which she's here. There we go. I think she's pretty fantastic. I didn't realize this is a Looney Tunes background for me today. Yeah, I've got Tweety Bird over here, and then over on this side I've got Bugs, which there you go. But I like those two. I thought those were both really nice for Valentine's Day. I love my holiday buddy. That's the heart buddy that is out at our front entrance by our calendar. I've decided now that I'm done displaying them everywhere that I'll just put them by our brick built calendar each month. So it's fun to still have them, but I'm very partial to that little heart. And I actually built a really large heart too, just for the fun of it one year. And that's still built. And so I enjoy that one too. But yeah, I need to do more. Most of my Valentine's builds have been habitats. So, which I think I have all of them still built from all the years I've done them. So this might be the 5th year that I've done the Valentine's habitat. And I want to say it's my 4th year. I think I co-hosted 2 years with Jen, and then I hosted solo last year and this year. So maybe my 5th year hosting. I don't remember. I forgot about that one. Need to incorporate it for February. Yes, it's so pretty. I'm guessing you were talking about the gift with purchase one. We also have the heart wreath. I just found it yesterday, so I put it out. That's a pretty one too. I want to amplify it and do more with it. I just honestly, because we're so busy with Lego builds and life and all the things during the winter holidays, it makes it hard to find the time and or motivation to start building for Valentine's Day. I feel like it sneaks up on us pretty quickly. But I love it. Fun fact, I am from Loveland, Colorado. So the name of the town is Loveland, which is love land, one word. And they used to call themselves the Valentine's Day capital of America. But then they switched the branding and now they call themselves the Sweetheart City, which I think is cringy and I don't like it as much. I liked the other one before. So I like to still say it's the Valentine's capital of America. But one of the things that they do, which I think is so cute, is they have a Valentine's remailing program. So if you mail Valentine's to people, you can address them in stamped envelopes already ready to go in a larger envelope, mail that larger envelope to Loveland, Colorado. They will open it at the post office and they will then take your Valentines and stamp them with a special cancellation stamp, which is the stamp they use when they mail something that has special artwork from a local artist in Colorado or in Loveland every year. And it also has a really cheesy Valentine's poem every year on it too. And that way your sweethearts get their Valentines mailed to them from the Sweetheart City. So it is a super cute Valentine's remailing program. It's something that I really enjoy and think is adorable. And I used to actually hand make cards all the time. I worked part-time for 5 years at a paper crafting store. And so I participated in that every year, which was super fun. It's been a couple of years since I've done that, so I might have to do it again. Maybe I'll do it this year. We'll see. But yes, I love Valentine's because it reminds me of my childhood and growing up in this really fun city that was just like super cheesy and silly. Let's see, push that back a little bit. Here we go. I want to make sure you all can see what I'm working on. Also, I probably should have worn a lighter color so that it was easier to see the build against my shirt. Same sentiments. Your favorite is the wreath. You would love to make it bigger. Yes, right? I think so too. And then Mayo says there's a yearly convention in your city run by the Lug in a high school gym, but you don't need to attend it every year. That's fun. Are you involved in your Lug? As you know, our dear friend Ben, he is our Lug ambassador. So I'm definitely involved in our Lug. We have a great time. And our convention is Brick Rodeo. Technically, we don't put it on, but I would say that we do in the sense that it is put on by all of the Lugs in Texas collaboratively. And especially when it's in Austin, most of the co-chairs and volunteers are from our Lug. So more or less it is our Lug event, but it's technically its own entity. It used to be Brick Fiesta. And then the name changed in 2020 to Brick Rodeo. And it got rebranded, and now It used to happen in 4 different cities around Texas, but now it happens in 2. So, all right, that was kind of hard to attach, but I'm loving how both of those here and here are attached at an angle because of the way those hinges work. Okay, getting a little bit more fun, organic roots and things. Let's see. Okay, so we have this little piece, and this is going to go right here. This little clip. All right. That's fun. It just makes like a little organic touch. Just really smart approach. All right. Good job again to my friend Dave, who worked on this one. It's a really, really solid set. I wonder what bag we will get the birds. So we're just about finished with bag 3. I say that. What I mean is I'm working on bag 3. I'm not quite just about finished, but all right. I also love, okay, this is cool. So there's these studs underneath the branch that sticks out, and that's where we're attaching this piece underneath to then attach these limbs that curve up. I like the way that you can twist and curve those. It creates a nice organic shape. That's well done. I need to, if I'm going to build more trees, do some of these techniques of incorporating things with clips and these little like rod types pieces. Too inconvenient for you to be involved in the lug. The sun is rising and I need breakfast. Oh, sounds good. Enjoy your breakfast. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. It was really good to chat. Really good to chat. Let's see. All right. Oh, Zach, you're headed out. Sounds good. Good to see you. Thanks again for joining. I didn't see your goodbye message yet. Yeah, this is fun. I like this set. This will be a beautiful display. And I like I said, I'm going to keep it up for sure at Valentine's Day, but it may go up other times of the year too. We'll see. So it's nice and pretty. I've always been drawn to birds in particular, so getting some brick-built ones is really fun. All right. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So any fun builds that you're working on soon? I know you mentioned you're doing that mosaic contest, but any other mocks coming up or sets that you're working on that you're excited about? I have a number of set reviews that we need to work on soon. And one is the Golden Retriever, which I'm excited about. But then I have the 2 more of I've built one of the 3 Chinese New Year sets, and it's really, really nice. It's the kind of wall display one, wall fireworks display. It's really, really pretty. But I need to work on the other 2, which is the galloping horses, which looks so cool. And then the Fortune Master or Fortune Teller, I think Fortune Master. So I was debating doing the Fortune Master today, actually, but then thought, no, I want to do this one. Valentine's is coming up too, so I'll get to that one later. All right, done with bag 3. Ta-da! Lots of great organic bits in this bag. I'm so impressed. This tree work is really, really solid. Like I said, I don't really do a lot of tree building, so. All right, bag 4 is a small bag, but it's full of bits. So we're getting lots of leaves. Look at those colors. This will be fun. Right, and also, I love these knotty pieces that just look like perfect tree limb pieces. Naughty is sounds like a double entendre. Okay, here we go. Not really, quite busy with university at the moment. Okay, but you're planning on getting the Artemis rocket. Cool. And if it works times unwise to build it while it launches. Okay, that would be really cool. That would be really, really fun and a neat experience with it. That's supposed to be a fantastic set for sure. So, actually, I think that's the one that they showed us at Fan Media Days, which was really cool. Is that the one that like hand cranks and the rocket pieces fly off to the left and right? Okay, nice work here with the branches. This is, I'm gonna have to call Dave and tell him how impressed I am. Oh, I'm doing these backwards. Okay. Oops. Let's redo those. Hi, Ryan. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Are you working on anything fun? Okay, yeah, that one is really cool. So the reveal was so impressive. That was one that I was really excited to get to experience with the designer and hear from him. He's a very, very smart, very talented guy, and such an interesting technic feat to get that to launch the way it does. It's really impressive. Yeah, I'd forgotten that one already came out. That one isn't one that we got for review, and so because I have needed to focus on the ones that we got for review, it's like there's just a lot going on. So, and that's not complaining, to be clear. I'm very, very happy to get the opportunity to get to do that. But yeah, sometimes I miss some of the other reveals of other things too. So you just got back from lunch with a friend. Nice. Now you're investigating how to fix an amplifier. Oh, what happened to it? Is it your amplifier? And also, do you play music then? Would be my guess. I'm guessing that's a yes. So tell me more and good luck. I don't know that I have any advice for you, but I always love to know more about people's hobbies and experiences and things you do outside of Lego too. That's fun. So, all right. Okay, so I'm going to show you this in just a second, but I'm pretty impressed with the way this is set up too. So using some Technic pieces, we're creating a really fun kind of, branch type piece that has all different interesting shapes to it. And you can see that there's all different rods sticking out. So those ones that are closest to you right now are all clips. And then these ones back here are the ones that are just the rod that has like that thing in the center. I need to plug my computer in. Let me find that charger real quick for that. I thought it was plugged in. Here it is. But yeah, that's going to help create some nice organic shaping for how those different branches and leaves attach. There we go. Now we're charging. This is going to go on here at the end, and I also like that it's getting narrower as you go down the end, which makes sense for a tree. So that's really fun. That's cool. All right. So now we get to some of the leaf work. It's the amp your parents bought in the 1981. The volume knob is scratchy and needs cleaning at least. Okay. Yes, you do make music fun. I didn't know you were a keyboardist. That's cool. And a singer. Nice. I grew up doing musical theater. It was a huge part of my life, but I also grew up playing piano. And for a while I was playing clarinet and saxophone too. So music is a big, big part of my past and my present. I still love to sing. Philip bought me a keyboard at one point too, and I love having it in the house, and I wish I played it more. So that was one of the things I wanted to do more of this year. So maybe I'll do some of that this weekend. We'll see. Yeah, that's really fun. I didn't know that. Are you, yeah, this tree is just so impressive, right? You played sax in high school. Fun. I played alto sax. How about you? For some reason, I'm thinking that you played tenor sax, and I don't know why that's in my head. It just feels right. Ryan, are you going to Brick Convention this weekend? I will not be, but I'm excited to hear about what the experience is like. So, from our mates. All right. So this is where we get to a little bit of repetition because trees, once you get to the branches and such, often end up looking they don't look similar, but you have to do repetition to create the same type of flowering leaves and such over and over and over again. And so this says 3 times, which is not too bad, but yeah, gets to that point where it's like a little bit mindless. So, which I don't mind in some builds. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a break from thinking. All right. I'm liking the use of this lighter color, this lighter yellow green color. It's not one that I really thought of using for trees, but I think it works perfectly here, especially with the sand green. And it goes beautifully with that coral color, which, like I said earlier, I typically don't like coral because it feels too jarring and like bold. But this one actually feels really good. Like I think this is a nice approach with it. So kudos to Dave and friends for getting me to like coral again. On the project that I'm working on that I'll share more about next week. There was one part of it that was in coral earlier, and I switched the color because it just wasn't working the way that I wanted it to. And the coral made sense for what I was building, but I had to switch it because it just wasn't color matching with the other colors. I think that's really important when you're looking at a build. So, all right, I'm eager to hear the feedback from my client on this and see what they think. So, okay. So here's one of the 3 that I just built. So nice organic shaping again. And what's interesting is, and I wouldn't have thought this before, but when you're building things like a tree, if you build the leaves where you do like 3 times of the exact same thing, it actually makes the end product look more organic than if you try to make it look organic. I used to always try to do different things for every single leaf, and what ended up happening is it just didn't look right. It looked a little wonky and not great. And so this approach helps make it look organic while still kind of making the build also a little easier to manage too. So, okay, this one goes on the front here. This next one, let's see, it's hard to tell here. Oh, obviously these 2 because there's only 2 left. That makes it easy. There we go. There's one and last one up here. Okay, y'all. This is looking really cool. It's just really nice. You're not attending the brick thing. You're not as plugged into the schedule of Lego events as you are. Yes. Honestly, I was pretty unaware that it was even happening. I hadn't paid as much attention to what was coming up on the schedule and such. And then I was at the meeting on Sunday when it was mentioned, and I was like, I missed the opportunity. This would have been a good opportunity to display, but I honestly need to not have stuff going on this weekend. There's way too much to do around the house, and I need to spend some time with Penny, and so it's actually a really good thing that I won't be going. But yeah, just gonna have to be okay with the FOMO. All right. I also need to eventually get a start on the mock that I want to do that's new for, hey, sleep is important. No worries at all. And no need to apologize to me. I miss all the time. Yeah. It's always good when you can be there. It's always fun, but when we can't, we can't. Anyway, I need to get working on my mock for Brick Rodeo and conventions this year because time is going to fly, as it always does, and sneak up on me. All right, so got another fun branch here. Just really pretty with these colors. Again, like not what I would have thought of to do on my own, so I'm impressed. Okay, but I am confused because I have a whole bunch of parts left over that I don't think I should have left over. Let me go back and see. Did I miss something on those? Those? No? I didn't. What about on these previous ones? Ah. Okay, well that's confusing. So this is saying that I need to do that twice, but I'm missing... Wait. No, that can't be right. Okay, no. Sorry. Oh, okay, that's why. In these, there was meant to be another little bush of them. So what are we supposed to build for February? Is it habitats again? It is not. So for February, they gave out seed parts of tickets, the ones that are printed tiles that are 1 by 2. And you're supposed to build, what would you do for a Brick Rodeo ticket? So that's the silly build challenge that was decided upon. And also, you can always build whatever you want. You don't ever have to do the build prompt. It's just kind of a suggested prompt if people want something to give them some direction or motivation on something. So feel free to do whatever you'd like, but that was what was mentioned. So if you want the seed parts, you can swing by Lasso's house. So if you reach out to him, which if you don't have his number, you can just message him on Discord. He's usually really good about that. Unlike some of us, I need to get better about that, especially if I'm moving my challenge, build challenge over there. But yeah, reach out to him and you can figure out a good time to swing by and get some. So it was pretty generous. I got like 10 of the tickets. I don't think that I need that many, so need to find a fun way to incorporate it into a build though. I often don't do the build challenge, mostly just because I have the build prompt, because mostly I have other prompts going on with my own build challenge that I typically am running at that time and stuff. So, okay, this is going to fill this in much nicer, much more nicely. There we go. Okay. Now this is looking even more full. This is cool. Okay. All right, friends, pay attention to the steps as you're building them. So you don't have to go back. Yeah, Lasso has helped you get the seed parts before. Awesome. Cool. Easy peasy then. All right. So this is going to connect where? Oh, right here. All right. That's pretty cool. Do this way. Come on. Why is it not clipping? There's that sound. All right. Bag 4 done. Let's get to bag 5. Ooh, I can see the color of coral shining through bag 6. So we're getting close to finally getting to build our bird friends, which is nice because it's already 2:30. Ryan, are you building any mocks lately? Also, who else is here? I see it says there's at least 4 people here right now, but I only know of 2 that are hanging out with us. So if you're here in the chat and want to say hello, I'd love to know who you are. Say hi. All right, so this guy Going to attach. All right, so we're getting another one of those knot type pieces, and we're getting the other arm type piece. That's the larger one to it, and that's gonna give us a little bit of organic shaping sticking out of the tree trunk with another arm of the tree, if you will. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's see. No mucks lately. Maybe you'll be inspired this time. Maybe. Sometimes it just takes something to kind of give you that burst of inspiration. So, Ryan and friends, have any of you seen the show Heated Rivalry? I am reading the book series. The first book is called Game Changers, and the second book is called Heated Rivalry, which the show kind of follows the characters from the second book a little bit more than it does the first book. So it makes sense they named it the way they did. But that's been a lot of fun. So you just started watching it last night. Awesome. So it starts pretty racy and moves through some beautiful storytelling as well. So really, really wonderful, wonderful acting. We loved it. We absolutely loved it. So Philip and I have been talking about some different build ideas from that, which will be fun. And I've got my mock for Brick Rodeo that I plan to do that will be new, or a new build that I need to get started on is another play build. So I want to do Kinky Boots this time because that's the one that we saw where Philip proposed to me. So it's a very special show to us. All right. You probably won't because you don't watch series or films, movies usually, but your friends talked about it today and they liked it. Nice. I'm also not sure where it's showing, like where else people can see it outside the US and Canada, because I know it's a Canadian show initially, and it took a while before it showed up in the United States, but I'm glad that it's here. It's been fun to just see the discourse online and what people are thinking of it and such. So, oh, I did that backwards. All right, let's try that again. Here we go. This is, again, more really interesting build techniques. So you take this curved piece, or this piece that has the bar in it, and you take the clip the clip in, and then on the outside of that, where the hole is, you put in this rod that has the thing in the middle, the stopper in the middle. Once you push that all the way in, then you take this end that has the clip. You can see how you can move that. You move it to the position that you want it to be and slide it in here. And what's fun about that is this can angle any way this way. It can also angle any way this way. And then the plants on top can twist and curve. So everybody's tree will look a little bit different depending on how they set that up, which is really cool. And just clever use of clips and bars. I'm actually participating in a book club for the books. So I'm excited to chat with people, I think this weekend, about it. So, all right. So now this is going to go on here, and I need to figure out where. Looks like it's going to go on the back here and out this way. So cool. So now we're building essentially this little bush of a plant sticking up. Okay, and now we get back to some repetition with building the leaves again. So three of those, 3 times over. How many sets do you have lying around that you haven't built yet? I can imagine that you have quite a lot. I do have quite a lot. So my own personal backlog of sets that we buy because we want to build them, that's growing even bigger because the review sets end up taking priority, since there's a little bit more time sensitivity to those. So what ends up happening is I put off the ones that I bought that I was really excited about, and keep saying maybe for a rainy day sometime. So I want to say with review sets, or now they're calling them early access sets, which I appreciate because they allow us to do whatever we want with the review sets. It doesn't have to be like a formalized review. And in my case, what I like to do is use them with live streams. But then also I like to, as I'm learning build techniques, I will film little bits and pieces of them, and then incorporate that into my tutorials to show like, here's the way that this build technique was used in a build. And maybe here's how I used it in a mock. So that's a lot of fun. So all that said, I don't know, I probably have like 20 or so. No, that's probably underdoing it. I probably have 30 or 40 personal sets that just aren't early access review sets to do. And then, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 left for review that I've been trying to really prioritize focusing on those to get caught up. Because like you can see, this one we were able to review in December, but our December is so busy that like I waited. I'm on it. And again, Lego's fine with that, which is good. But the cool thing is, like, 0 complaints, first off. But wait a minute, it said to do 3 of these, and I did 3, but it's only showing to position 2 of them. I'm really confused. Oh, because you're only supposed to do 2. Just kidding. So I did 1 too many. But yeah, the review sets are often ones that I would have wanted to buy anyway. And so we are very fortunate to be in a position where Lego provides us with sets to use for review and for different things. I definitely never want to take that for granted. And I also, because of that, like I feel pressure to make sure that I'm making good use of them and that I'm using them in a way that my community enjoys and that is helpful for people. So when I talk about my build challenge that I'm doing and how I'm doing tutorial videos, that's because I'm passionate about tutorials and I love them. And I find so much benefit in building alongside other people and learning from other people. But also it's a great way to use those review sets in a way that just aligns with stuff that I love to do. So, and Lego likes us to do things that really just fit naturally into our regular rhythm of life. So yeah, so there's that piece too. The project that I did for the clients that, again, I can't say super detailed information about until it's live, but should be able to talk about it next week. In that one, I used some techniques that I've learned from different sets too. And so it'll be fun to do some tutorial stuff afterward about that too. So it is fun. Before the holidays, our backlog was enormous because we traveled to Denmark for Fan Media Days in September, October. Got back from that and I was working heavily on my Wicked project. So I just got behind on September and October review sets. And then on top of it, but then we traveled for the Wicked project in November, got back home from that, and it was immediately the holidays, which is like the busiest, most chaotic time in our lives, typically every year. And so as much fun as it is, it makes it really hard to do review sets. Plus, a lot of the review sets are not Christmassy and not necessarily like winter holidays focused. It's more like after the new year. And so I like to wait on some of those anyway until we're through some of the holiday stuff. But yeah, so I was frantically building a lot of review set stuff in December and have been really focused on that in January too. So also, it's me and my husband. We don't have kids. And so a lot of our free time is spent building sets, having fun. Like another thing too is, and I say all that just to say, like, I know it's not realistic for everyone to be in that situation. And for some people, they have other things to prioritize, and that's okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I need to keep building more of these. But yeah, so I have quite a big backlog. My backlog of sets that are the personal ones, some of them are ones that we got at conventions, that like you won from playing a game or something like that, right? Some of them are, so a lot of them are smaller sets. Some of them are bigger sets, and those are the ones that either I got for a gift or I bought for myself. So one example that's like I'm just itching to do, is I'm really eager to build the Mario Kart. Like I'm so excited about that one, and it's just been sitting there in my backlog because I just have not had the time to dedicate to it. Another one that's in my backlog that I'm just eager to get to as well is the Van Gogh set. I got that one for my 40th birthday. I'm 42 now. I'll be 43 soon, to give you a sense of how long it's sat in that backlog. And it's just, I keep telling myself, like, just take a weekend and do it. So, yeah. So we'll see. Okay, so what is this shirt you're wearing? Oh, so I am wearing this shirt because it is from Sundance Film Festival from last year. Let me move the tree out of the way. Ta-da! Sundance Film Festival 2025. And Philip got it for me last year when he went for a work type thing. And he is going for a work type thing to Sundance again this weekend. And so I decided to wear it today in honor of his upcoming trip and because I'm sad he's leaving. But also, it'll be really nice to have the house to myself and get a lot of stuff done around here because I really need to do that. So I need a quiet weekend for sure. So Penny and I are going to be chilling here. So like I said, even though I'm missing out on Brick Convention, I'm also not too sad about it. Like that's going to be fine. So, all right. I think I did enough of the parts this time with these repetitious leaves. Let's see. So I needed to do 4 of these, which I have, and I needed to do 8 of these little bushes. So nice. I like its abstract design. Agreed. I love this shirt. I love a good sweatshirt in general, especially because it's rarely ever cold here, and I grew up in Colorado, and I miss having real weather and real seasons throughout the year. And so I think a cozy sweater or sweatshirt is like my jam. And so anytime I get a chance to wear sweatshirts, I'm happy. And it's a very comfortable one. Like it's made of that like really nice, soft, and gets softer as you wash it fabric. So kudos to whoever at Sundance decided on the quality and such, which I need to look up and figure out what it is. I have a new hobby that I'm working on that's embroidery. I really, my goal at the end of this year is to have my denim jacket embroidered with Lego patches that I've been collecting over the years and other travel patches, and to embroider some sayings on them. But as I'm learning how, I bought a super cozy, very cheap sweatshirt, like blank sweatshirt yesterday from Michael's, with the idea of doing a fun, maybe Animal Crossing themed one. We'll see. So it's a little cutesy, but I kind of love that. All right, y'all, we are powering through and ready to put these 4 on, and then we get to build our birds, which I'm very excited about. Right, so loving these colors. It's so peaceful. Just hope these coral birds don't mess up the flow. I don't think they will. Like I said, I think the use of these colors together was a smart choice because it makes that coral seem less angry. All right, y'all. It's just so pretty. And I like that you can like keep tweaking with it and twisting some things around until it's just the way that you want it. The shaping is just, it's really pretty. Okay. Ta-da! There it is. Wow. And yeah, like I said, I would never use that light yellowish green for leaves. That's really smart. All right. Oh, it looks like 6 and 7 are coral. So I think we're going to build one bird and then another. Yay! Okay, coral and is this the new pink? Ooh, it might be the new pink. I can't tell. We've got... Okay, let's take a look on the back of the instructions and see. No, I think this is regular pink. I think this is the standard pink. But there's a new pink color and a new purple color. So, all right. Oh, I'm excited about these birds. Okay, so this is why they work so well. They chose to use coral, violent, angry coral with pink and with this, like, I can't remember what this one's called, but this like peach type tone. And it just softens it so much. It makes a huge difference. I love that. Also, now I'm like, are my nails basically coral? Oh, okay. This is one of those bags where it says to open 6 and 7 at the same time. I always think it's funny. It's like in Glee, there was a scene with Mrs. What's going through my head is Norbury, but I don't think that was her name. But it's the school counselor who had like OCD tendencies with keeping things clean. And she talked about how she went on a date with this guy and he bought her green grapes and red grapes and they just opened the bags and mixed them all together. And that's the scene that goes through my head every time I open a Lego set and in the instructions it shows something like this. Silly, and aging myself a little bit there too. Y'all, Glee, that was a wild ride back in the day. I loved that show so much, but also it got real weird. It got really weird. But I powered through and watched all of it because I am not a quitter. So, okay, it says build 2 of these. So we're building 2 identical birds. I didn't realize they were identical. That's fun. So I will do that. It does look like a nice color palette, at least on screen. It really does. Like I'm impressed with the decisions here. I think that really helps with softening that coral that often just feels like really, really jarring to me. So yeah, just to show you here all together. My nails aside, they're the things that are jarring now. I like when things are, when there's steps that tell you to do the same thing twice. I like to try and build the second one from memory. This time, though, I'm building them simultaneously. So I'll build from the instructions for the first one for a little bit, and then I'll try the second one from memory up to that point. In part because there's a lot of parts with these birds, but also just to make it a little bit efficient for this. I liked what I saw of Glee. Maybe I'll finish it eventually. Yeah, I honestly, there have been days when I thought, should I go back and rewatch it? But I just don't think I could. It was a lot. The first go round, and it gets really weird. So of course now I need 2 brick separators because I did something wrong. There we go. In my defense, this step I read to say to put this one directly underneath that one, but you can see in the next step it's alternated by one, or it's offset by one stud. So I did it wrong. And anytime you do plates like this together, I like to use 2 brick separators, one on either side, to loosen it up a little bit. And then once it's a little bit loose, then you can get a brick separator in between the two. Pull them apart. Ta-da! Okay, let's try that again. So this will go like that. There we go. Just started watching Lego Masters Season 5. Yay, Matthew! You had some awesome builds. Thank you so much. The Wicked was one of your favorites. That's really nice to hear. I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for joining the live stream, and thank you for the kind words. That was an experience of a lifetime, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I had so much fun. I was actually just texting with John yesterday. I miss him so much. We became very, very close as a result of that show, and I'm so grateful for his friendship. And yeah, just like such an odd, cool, once in a lifetime experience. I'd love it to be more than once in a lifetime. If anybody from Lego Masters is watching and you have a way to bring me back for something, please do. I would love it. Are you all caught up, or like have you watched the whole season? Curious as to where you're at with it. I also formed some of the best friendships with incredible, incredible people through that experience. So, but yeah, thank you so much for sharing. That is so fun. All right, more fun with this bird. These are going to be kind of large. I didn't think they were going to be that large, but this is just like the tail and the beginning of the body. You're only halfway through. You just watched the Batman episode. Ah, okay. Yes, the Batman episode. That was a lot of fun. I will say I am thrilled to have gotten to do a Batman episode with real Lego Batman as our host. That was just like, what an awesome experience, and unique, and in the sense that he's not hosting anymore after this season. And so we were the first and only season to get to do a Batman challenge with him there. So I feel very lucky that we had that experience. And Will Arnett is a nut. He is so much fun, so funny, just off the wall, wild, but actually really kind. Like, he legitimately cares about the people on the show, which was really, really sweet and nice to find out, because you never know with celebrities if they're going to be legitimately good people, and he was one of them. So yay. That's fun. Which was your favorite of the Batman builds? I'm curious. And are you a Batman fan? I feel like that sometimes plays into it too. They stopped Lego Masters in Germany. No, I was afraid that they were going to stop ours here. And actually, we filmed ours October 2023, and they didn't air ours until summer 2025, 18 months later. And so we were all very nervous that they might cancel our season and never show it. But then they did, which is good. So you watched the last season, and the builds were amazing. And I saw one of the builders at the convention, and I was like, OMG. That is so fun. Who did you see at the convention? I love meeting the other Lego Masters now in person. It was something that I loved before being on the show. And I found, like, for the most part, everyone is so kind and friendly and fun. Like, it's really a great community of people. So that's been my experience. I hope that's your experience too. You're a very big Batman fan. Yes, your favorite build was the lawnmower. 100%. That one should have won. I was overwhelmed in that episode, as you can imagine, at the end of it. And so, like, in the moment, wasn't really thinking much about who was winning. But after having time and distance from it and then getting to watch it again, that lawnmower was so good. Sage and Ian are such talented builders, and also incredible humans, like just great people, gems of humans. And their lawnmower was awesome. It was really, really fantastic. Anne and Luke had a great build for sure. I really enjoyed their build, and I think they did a good job as well. But personally, I felt like the lawnmower took it. So, but everybody's got their own perspective. So Philippos was there and displayed his Carmox. That's so cool. That is so cool. So I grew up being a big Batman fan, because those were the superhero movies that we had growing up for the most part. We're mostly DC and mostly just Batman. And I love Batman and have a lot of nostalgia around the films and the animated series and all kinds of things. And so that was such a treat to get to do that challenge. So, okay, nice curved feature here for what looks like the kind of breast or stomach chest part of the bird. So yeah. Oh my gosh, how fun is that? I will say, if anybody is ever thinking that they might have an interest in someday being on the show, do it. Audition. It was so much fun. It was such a blast. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I loved all the people that I got to work with. The people that worked with us behind the scenes were so kind and so friendly and so fun. And it just all around wonderful experience. Wonderful experience. I'd also say too, if you ever go to a Lego convention, as our friend in Germany is talking about right now, go to the panels and hear from the Lego masters about what their experiences were like. One of the things I loved about going to Scareback was I got to be, so Scareback is a convention that happens in Denmark with people from all over the world. And it was so much fun. And I got to be on the panel of Lego masters from around the world. And it was so cool to hear about how different and similar they are around the world. So yeah, really, really cool. You were hoping we'd get the 60s era, was I hoping we'd get the 60s for our build, or was there one you would have preferred? Thought it was kind of crazy how they just had you all run to pick which era. Very chaotic. The show can be very chaotic in a lot of ways too. And the competition in that sense can be kind of fierce to get the piece that you wanted or the build that you wanted or whatever. My first choice was Lego Movie Batman. My second choice was the 1960s Batman era. And my third choice would have been 1989 Batman. And that's because that one is the one that to me screams classic Batman, just because of when I grew up and my nostalgia around it. And actually same for John. So we were thrilled to have the 60s Batman. It was the best opportunity to get to use color and just have fun and be campy and silly, which we both love. So it was great. It was a great option to get. If I had one change I would make about the show, I would say specifically about our season, we had about half the time to build that all past seasons had. So if you look at the time of the challenges that we had and you compare that to past seasons shortest build was longer than most of our builds. So their shortest build, I think, on past seasons was 8 hours in the US. And the builds for those 6 weeks, I can tell you from those 6 weeks, were 10 hours, 4 hours, which was just ridiculous. And then I think it was 6, 7, 7, 6, or like 6.5, 7, 7, 6, something like that. So all but one were shorter than the shortest build on all past seasons. And the reason I say that is something I wish they wouldn't have done for us, is because it makes it really, really hard to pivot if you run into an issue, which is exactly what happened to us on a couple different challenges. But we were able to get through it a couple different times. And with Batman, it was really tough to be able to pivot with very little time left. So all that said, I wouldn't trade the experience for anything. It was so wonderful. And that's not even really a complaint, because what we jokingly refer to as our speed season, honestly, it made a different experience for us that was interesting and unique for us too. So yeah, you can take your longer than 4 hours to put together a mock for the monthly meeting, right? So when you think about like the reality of the amount of time it takes to build anything, especially when you are designing it from scratch and on the spot in the moment like that, I just think that it would be nicer of them to give more time. So, but thankfully that was only our season. I'm really curious to see what they do with season 6. And I'm hoping that for their sake that they have longer builds again. And I think they probably learned from our season that the shorter build time was something that wasn't necessarily well received even by the viewers. So I say that again, not to complain. Amazing experience. Loved it. Loved the people I was with. Like just really, really cool. But that was one factor that was unique about our season. So yeah. Yeah, you notice the shorter times and you agree you like the longer times because the builds can be bigger. Yes. And more awesome looking. I've always been curious. Did they give you any breaks during the build? Yes. Great question. So to your point, yes, the builds can be bigger as well and grander and more exciting when you have more time as well. And they can also be more polished. And I think that's something that we've come to see and expect from Lego Masters from past seasons. And so I was a little bit nervous about what ours would look like. And I feel like the way it ended up looking, in my opinion, it still looks like we did a good job and kind of met the brief to the way that we were supposed to and whatever. But behind the scenes, we all know how much more polish we could do and how much more we could improve, which, everybody's their own worst critic. So I think there's a little bit of that showing up there too. Did we get breaks? Yes. We didn't get bathroom breaks. So if we needed to go to the bathroom, you would just say it out loud. And because you're on a mic all the time, a magic person out of nowhere would pop up and walk you over to where the bathrooms were, which was offset. So you had to go offset into a different area, different building to get to the bathrooms, which meant it took some time away from your building. So no one ever wanted to go to the bathroom during the build because you were losing time. The clock was ticking. So that was one reality. But then we did get breaks for meals. And so what I would say is, other than our 4-hour build challenge, every challenge had breaks. That 4-hour build challenge did not. They just powered all the way through and we were done when we were done, from what I remember. Is that true? I think that's true. It's been so long now that I don't fully remember. But for any time it was longer than 4 hours, we would typically get a meal break. And you can imagine if a build was longer than 8 hours, that's more than a working day. So we might even get a longer break too. So they do care about the people and make sure that you're taken care of. But the pace at which you're going and the schedule that you're on is pretty darn intense to where you're just going the whole time. So we would get up at 5:30 a.m. for a call, which I am not a morning person, so I didn't like that so much. And would run over to the studio, or actually be driven over to the studio, and then jump into hair and makeup and then hop on set to film. And then have meal breaks and whatever. And then at the end of the day, it'd be super late at night and you'd head back to the hotel just to get up early the next morning. So it was a furiously fast experience. Keeps you on your toes and keeps you really challenged in what I thought was like ways to really level up your skills. I feel like I grew so much as a builder, both in my own confidence, which I think is very important, but also in my abilities to do some different things too. So yeah. Yeah, I noticed a shorter time. Okay. And then was it filmed in about a week's time? So past seasons, they would film 1 to 2 challenges a week. Which meant if there were 10 challenges that they were there for around 6 weeks total. Usually a week before, as you're kind of getting there, getting acclimated, they kind of give you some training that's mostly like how the show works in terms of where you film and like where you have to stand for different things and stuff. Some of the like behind the scenes stuff that's boring, but that's important for shows like that to help you understand. And then and to do like the promo shots and all of that kind of stuff, right? And then you would jump into build challenges and go. Oops, I did this backwards. So for us, our full season, I think, was filmed in 4 weeks. So it was 1 week of that like pre stuff, and then it was 3-ish weeks of filming. Maybe it was 3.5 weeks of filming, but it was very, very fast. So it was about twice as fast as past seasons. The first week that we built, there were 3 challenges that we did that week. I think we did a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then the next week, we had 4. We had between Monday and Thursday, there were 3. And then on Friday, there was 1. So really fast. And all this behind the scenes stuff, like, fascinating to me. It was so interesting to learn. My husband and I watch so much reality TV and we love it. And so getting to see how all this works behind the scene was just really cool. And also, that's how it worked with our show. I don't know if that's how it works with every reality show. So I'd love to know more about other series and competition shows and just compare and contrast, you know? So, all right, interesting shapes here. So we're using some snot bricks that have studs on 3 sides. You can see where my fingers are on the left and right. There's studs going out that are holding these pieces on, and these at the top. The bottom side is blank. And then we're using these curved parts. So this is one that's relatively newer in the last year or so. I remember the first time I think I saw them was in the Dalmatian set last year. In white, of course, so not this color. And then these curved pieces that are those curved corner pieces that work well with those curved slopes. So this is... Oh, that's why. Okay, I did something wrong here. Knew something seemed a little off. Oops. Okay, let's try that again. All right. Okay, cool. So very smart building techniques here that are making a very narrow head for this bird, which it's impressive to me that they're able to get so much detail. Like, that's the front of it. It's essentially just that snot break with the curves on either side. So really, really cool. But yeah, the other piece that was really cool about that experience. So like I said, all the people behind the scenes were amazing and so much fun and so kind and friendly and helpful, and they all wanted us to succeed. They were rooting us on, which is cool. Amy and Jamie were incredible. I feel so lucky to have gotten to be mentored by them. Oh my gosh, very smart, little tiny eye. But that's such a perfect little addition to the head. So that was achieved by putting this piece right here and then covering it with this piece that, because it steps down, it has that opening there. Yay, cool. So yes, I love that we got the chance to learn from them and be mentored by them for sure. But then also the community we built with each other. Those people are people that I will be friends with for life. Everyone that was on our season, so much fun. We got close with, I would say I'm very, very close friends with most of them. But I would say I'm friends with all of them. Nobody is an enemy. It's just really, really wonderful people. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay. Something looks weird to me here. What did I do wrong? Okay, so this twists this way. Wait. Okay. There we go. All right, y'all. Look at this cute little bird. Okay, I'm so impressed. And I love the coral. It's so cute. It works so well, and it's soft in this. It looks just so nice and clean and not vibrant and jarring, which I just was not, I didn't know that you could do that with coral. It looks so good. Okay, I need to fix, the way I have this on is backwards. Is that right now? No, that's backwards too. So this curves like that. This flips. I was having a hard time with this piece because the way these curves go, it curves down like that naturally, but I kept flipping these droid arms that are attaching it in a way that my brain was not wanting to put it together the way it's supposed to. There we go. But so cute. A disadvantage of building both birds at once is you get the opportunity to make the same mistake twice. Yes, which I have done multiple times. Very true. All right. Oh, they're just so cute. And I like that their heads can tilt and like do little lovey-dovey lovebird silliness. And then they actually don't attach with the droid feet. They attach with the little hidden clip in here. And one is going to go here, like so, which is fun because then you get to see their little feet sticking out, but they're not like holding onto something. And he's going to be looking this way. And then this little bird's going to be on the other one. And he's going to look the other way. And he's going to be like, hey, what brings you to this tree at this hour? Oh, it's the meet cute. Oh, aren't they cute? Y'all, this was super satisfying. That is such a pretty build. Okay, I'm a fan. Major fan. Thank you, Dave, for doing such a great job on the design of this. Thank you. Let's see the name of the designer to give him some props to. One more time. Micah, Lego Ideas name Modular Maniac. He was the grand prize winner of our Build from the Heart challenge, which resulted in this beauty. So here's our friend Micah. Hey, buddy. Congratulations. That was so much fun. And also, thank you all for joining today. This is such a fun live stream, and I really loved the chat today. It was really fun to chat with all of you. If you would like the feed, that would be wonderful. It would make my day. And if you would subscribe if you haven't already, that would just be fantastic too. I'm trying to continue to grow and build this channel, and so the more that you can support it, the more that will help me. So thank you for joining today, though. The most important thing is joining and chatting in the chat. Yay! Thanks for the likes. It really means a lot for me to have you in the chat with me, and it makes it much more fun to build these sets together. So this is already available on Lego's website. I don't know the details. You can look it up yourself. Sorry, but it's super cute, and I'm definitely a fan. And then stay tuned next week. So I will be doing these live streams every Wednesday. Next week on the stream, I'll build another review set. But I will also be able to talk about my secret project, which I can't wait to share with you. I'm so excited. And sometime maybe in the next week, I'm going to be building the instructions to provide for people to learn how to build their own Pokeball, because I just want to. Let me know real quick too, if you think I should do instructions for this little squat one or not. I plan to do instructions for the larger one that's actually more round. But let me know your thoughts on like if I should do anything with this other one. At the beginning of the feed, when I was talking about these two, I started with this one, and this was kind of my concept model. I liked the smoothness of it, but I didn't like the shape. The end shape just was not round enough. I could make it one brick taller by making that black line wider, and that would kind of push up the red and the white. I could also maybe push it up by adding a red and white, or another red row below the red and a white row by the black one. But obviously, so like if I were to do anything with this one, I would redesign it and then share the instructions. But this one, my plan was to just share the instructions. So yeah, would love to. I'd personally prefer the bigger version. The studs look good in your opinion. Awesome, good to know. And you like the bigger, rounder one best. Cool, awesome. Thank you again. Y'all are fantastic. I will come back with a tutorial. I don't know when, but I promise I will, of this little guy. All right, be safe, have fun, build kindness.